Onto state capture, briefing the media a little bit earlier on this afternoon. Joining us live is our reporter Nthakoana Ngatane, who was there, and she will give us a bit of an update on some of the key things that came through. Nthakoana, thanks very much for joining us. Perhaps we know a couple of things. August, we're starting to hear hearings, but it seems as if they've been busy already.
Oh, absolutely, Peter. Well, what I can tell you is that we know that, first of all, Deputy Chief Justice Zondo has added 2 people to his team that he announced the last time that he held a media briefing, and they are advocates Philip Mukoni, SC, as well as Mahlape Sillo. And of course, this raises another question, and that's the question of gender. But he says that in terms of the core team, he has 3 women and 3 men in his core team, so he does have the gender balance, and he promises us that in other structures of the commission as well there is the gender balance. But the other issue that has been of concern, Peter, is the issue of time. Now, you know that when this commission was first established, it was given 180 days, and that's according to its terms of reference that are gazetted. And so Deputy Chief Justice Zondo says that there is no way, looking at the amount of work that they have to do, they will be able to complete it in that space of time. So he has made recommendations to the president to increase the time, and he's expecting a decision soon, but also that should it be necessary, they will go to court to legalize the extension of the time. And he says that looking at the amount of time required, they may go up to about 18 months to even 24 months to complete the work of this commission. The other issue, as you alluded to, is that of confidentiality, which is very important. He says that it's important to ensure that there is no infiltration of the process, so that it's not compromised, that it is insulated to any interference. And so this is one of the reasons why it took some time. It is the confidentiality of the people who will go out to fish the information, the investigators, but also the confidentiality of witnesses that may come through. The other issue that he clarified today is that issue of the amendment to the regulations of this commission. And you remember that President Cyril Ramaphosa amended the Regulation 8.2, which limited the admissibility of evidence that is presented before the commission. In other words, initially, anybody who presented evidence would not be charged according to the evidence that they would present in front of the commission. But now the regulation says that if that evidence is presented by someone else, then a person B perhaps can be charged with information that comes before this commission. So that is what came out of this briefing today. Peter?
All right. I suppose this timeline is going to be a bit of a concern for people who wanted this issue resolved quite quickly. Has there been any indication whether this inquiry will halt or interfere with independent investigations, for example, by the Hawks?
Well, what Deputy Chief Justice Zondo says is that they have already taken information that has come out of, for instance, the parliamentary inquiries into state capture that have already happened. He says that they have also been in touch with government departments, including the Department of Justice, the Department of Treasury, as well as the Department of Public Enterprises, because you remember that state enterprises like Eskom and Transnet are quite at the center of this state capture inquiry. So he says that his commission has been in touch with key government institutions and key processes that have been going on. And this is the question that we were asking ourselves, whether there will be a merger of these processes, the parliamentary inquiries, as well as the processes that the public protector has already done and the current protector says that she is going to do. So some kind of comfort there for those who were wondering if information that has already come out will indeed be used. And he says the sort of information that they have found, they have confidence in.
And does the Deputy Chief Justice feel that he has enough resources to get the job done? We know that time's not on his side, but does he have the resources to do it?
Well, let's look at the logistics in terms of where this inquiry is expected to happen. Where we are now is the offices of the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture, but next door at number 16 Empire Road is where the actual hearings, public hearings will happen, and that's perhaps where the public will go when they want to hear the proceedings of the Commission itself. But here at another address, which is number 17, where the offices are, is where as early as next week, when those notices come out, if members of the public want to bring information to the Commission, they will be able to come to these premises here. But also, as you've indicated, there is a website, there are telephone lines that are open, so people will be able to bring that information to the inquiry. But of course, information that can come to the Commission is information according to the terms of reference of this Commission. Peter?
All right, Nthakoana, that's where we're going to leave it for the time being. Thanks very much indeed for that update. So this Commission inquiry into state capture is happening, and it looks like the first public hearings will happen round about August, but work is already in full flow, as we heard from the Deputy Chief Justice this afternoon.